So today we're starting a new project. It's like a tree burning with like a phoenix thing. It's a whole lake sleeve. Pretty much laid it all out on a big piece of tracing paper, and now I'm just getting it stuck on there. You know, maybe making some modifications with a marker and then doing a light outline or like a blood line or gray wash line. In fact, I think I'm gonna take it a step further and I'm going to sketch it with a liner. You know, a lot of the issues with tattooing is that you move slow through the tattoo, and there's a certain rhythm that you naturally want to take up as you're drawing something, and that informs the shapes, and it really affects the artwork slowing down, at least for me. You know, with painting or drawing, you know, you can kind of, there's movement and your eyes are dancing around the image, and you're able to make decisions in a certain way, in a certain speed. And with tattooing, that all goes out the window. It just goes to a snail's pace. Do a little bit of sketching with you know, something super light like black and gray with a liner, and just do a sketch on the skin, because I'm confident I can cover the sketch marks with, you know, the subsequent layers. So I think that'll help me create a better composition, create better form doing it that way. We're gonna find out today. Turning on this one. Keep going. So I'm going to sketch in some of the textures of the tree. So I start out just kind of describing some of the texture with the liner. You can see that the shading that I do is, there's a lot of tool marks in it. So basically I'm just whipping a liner, creating little gradients just to describe the texture. And a lot of the focus of this tattoo is going to be on the texture of the tree. I really like twisty trees. Who doesn't, you know? So I want there to be a lot going on there. At some point I decide, because this is going so fast, that you can see there that I start filling in the background. The tree is going to be dark, but the phoenix is going to be just basically reds, oranges, and yellows. So I want there to be the proper contrast. So the background is, as you can see there, basically black. There is some red in it. It's not totally pitch black. I want to save the pitch black for some of the details in the tree and in the maybe in the face of the phoenix, if there is any black in the phoenix. So there you go. That was the whole session. I think it was 3 hours. We got a lot done. He pretty much hated me by the end of the session, especially when we got towards the knee and behind the knee. But I'm really excited, that part right there where the flames kind of wrap around. So we got a lot done today, and I think I'm going to do that moving forward, depending on how it heals, of course. I was able to create the texture in a way that felt natural instead of slowing down a bunch, and we covered a lot of ground. Back working on this. It's coming along really nicely. That's going to be the front. That's going to be the back. The sleeves I haven't done much with, but the problem is the translation of color between my program and the printer. I had this design, which I loved the color scheme of this. It's like this type of brown with these minty colors, but the problem is this is the closest we could get after the print. The first couple were terrible. They were super dark, and I don't know, they just don't have the know-how or like the programs to color correct it, or they're not giving me the right information. It's kind of hard to communicate with them. But there's a back with the logo. But we got to get the color scheme right. So I'm a little nervous about that, doing a bunch more samples to use. So hopefully I'll be able to modify my files.
Here, stretch out, turn that way. Oh, that's just open. If it was something crazy, that's a nice stop.
You give like the perfect amount of pressure for like your size, for me, you know, like you do very effective especially at so many points, you know, and like, oh, he could just hook it, you know, hardly up. But you give like the perfect amount of pressure.
Big guys.
So it's the next day. I got some jujitsu in this morning, as you saw. I really enjoyed rolling with that bigger guy. I think he was like maybe 250 pounds, maybe, I think he said. It was great because when bigger guys have the ability to match you as far as like strength, it's great. You know, I get to, bigger guys like that, they could just use their weight and their strength to just fucking smash a smaller guy like me. But if they're smart, in my opinion, they'll curb their strength a little bit and their weight and use more techniques-based stuff, which is what he did. And also what that does is it allows me to work on stuff, and also it allows him to work on stuff because he might end up in more positions that are at a disadvantage to him if he does that, and then he could work his way out of those scenarios with maybe a little bit more strength or technique. So it was a lot of fun, and that's the only reason why I caught him in the armbar at the end, because he allowed me to put him in a shitty position, and then he tried to work out of that position, and he wasn't, in that scenario, he wasn't able to do that. But that, gave him the ability to improve his jiu-jitsu by, not making it easier for him. And, some bigger guys will like just fucking absolutely crush you, and, that's cool too. That's their right to do that. That's their advantage. But, I think it's kind of smarter to curb that a little bit. It's also just like a type of jiu-jitsu intelligence, that he showed. So it was a lot of fun rolling with that dude. My car is making some weird sounds. Today, we're doing some more anime tattoos. Doing a little, it's from Spirited Away, I think. It's like a little pot with a little flame guy. He's like hanging onto a log. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's a cool image. I'm gonna do it on the back of his leg. And that's all we have today. So I'll be able to really spend the proper amount of time and do a good job. All right, let's, we gotta make sure that it's like up and down, so if we stand. Sometimes when I'm doing anime tattoos, and I've noticed that a lot of anime tattoos have gray tones in them, like opaque grays. And opaque grays sometimes are a little splotchy. Like they'll bleed inconsistently, and it'll make you second guess how saturated it is. You have to go back and be really careful. And this image in particular had a lot of, the translucent stuff going on. And I think I actually made a mistake by doing an orangish background. I was trying to blend it into the background of the tattoo next to it. I should have bumped up the contrast in some way and either done a some sort of darker color or whatever. I think I might correct that when we go to do, when we work on it again. But all in all, I think the tattoo turned out really nice. I think the video here and the photos at the end didn't really do the tattoo justice. I think it looked better in person, which happens a lot with tattoos. But in general, super happy with it, and the client was really happy with it too. It was such a this leg sleeve is going to be so much fun, and little characters and stuff from all these anime shows. It's going to be pretty cool. This is how I'm ending my night here. You can kind of see the different steps in the drawing process here with these. So I have the sleeve where it's really roughed in like that, and then I blend it out with the blending tool. Well, that's a bad example, I guess, but I blend it out to make it smooth, and then I go in and I reinforce with some bolder lines. It's probably not the most efficient way to do it, but it works for me.